Oh, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Satam Petak. I am Sarah of Expat in Croatia, and this is 5 Question Friday. Every Friday at 5 o'clock Croatia time, answer 5 questions from people who have sent them in on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, expatinCroatia.com, my consulting sessions, and people who write them in a Christmas card. Welcome to our last 5 Question Friday of 2024. Can you believe that the new year's in 2 weeks? I cannot, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Thank you so much for being here today. We have so much to talk about. Oh, also it's Friday the 13th. As if that's supposed to mean anything. Okay, what do I want to tell you today? All right, so tonight is the Foreign Business Owners Association at Split Dalmatia Christmas party, and you're all invited. So it is not members only. It is open to everyone. It is free of charge. There's going to be catering from Morfar, which is an Argentinian empanada shop here in Split. The owner, Santi, is a member of the Foreign Business Owners Association. It's going to be held at the Daltonist, which is a bar here in Split, also a member of the Foreign Business Owners Association. So if you are in Split tonight and you need something to do, I hope that I will see you at the Daltonist. I'm going to get all dolled up. So I'm pretty excited about that. Hey Cam, I see you. All right. So what else? Yes. So it is the season of Christmas parties. Sunday, I'm going to Zagreb for a few different reasons. And one of them is the Association of Croatian American Professionals Christmas Party, which is on the 19th, Thursday the 19th. We are going to be wandering through Advent. So if you are a member of that organization, I hope to see you there. And if not, and you just happen to see me out and about, say, hey, I will be in Zagreb. What else? Oh yeah. So I told you guys like a little kind of like, not a secret, but like a down low thing about 6 months ago. So I'm going to tell you again, and I'll tell you why I'm telling you. So there is an organization called the Brotherhood of Croatian Dragons, and it is an organization that has tasked themselves with preserving Croatian heritage and culture and history. And they've been around since 1900, so 125 years-ish. And they have what they call the Dragon Lair, which is in the Kamenet of Vrata in Zagreb, like in the upper town. There's like this kind of little historical site. It's a tunnel. You walk through. They are in that tunnel. And they are the ones who started the city library. They started the city museum. There have been a lot of prominent members from Croatian history who have been members of this organization. And it's a cool organization. Anyways, so they got on our radar because a friend of mine is a dragon. So if you're a member, you're a dragon. And then they have like the Dragon Council, and then they have the Grand Meister Dragon. So a buddy of mine, Don, who I mentioned a number of times to all of your long-term 5 Question Friday fans, is a dragon. That's how I found out about the organization. And so a few years ago, my colleague Maria, she wrote an article about them. So this year, I met the Grand Meister Dragon in the Dragon Lair, and he asked me to become a member of the Brotherhood. And I immediately started crying, and it made him uncomfortable, so he couldn't look at me until I stopped. It was a huge honor. It is a huge honor. Very, very big honor to be asked to be part of this organization, especially as someone who is not Croatian and has no Croatian blood whatsoever. So he said he was going to check, but he said he felt confident that I would be the only non-Croatian member in history, which is pretty neat. So he gave me an application, because it's not like you have to be invited. You have to have 2 existing members who support your application. The membership application process takes about 18 months. So there are a lot of steps involved in it. So the first step is I have to fill out this application, and I have to provide my CV, and then they invite me to make a short presentation in front of the Dragon Council about why I want to be in the Brotherhood. And then they will like post my name up on a bulletin board to see if anyone objects. And if no one objects, then I have to go and do a lecture in front of the dragons. And after that, I'll be on probation for like 6 to 9 months. And then after I get off probation, well, not off probation, but at the end of the probation, then they do a vote with like black and white stones, and I can't get any black stones. And if I make it past that, then there's a ceremony where I get a coat of arms, my own coat of arms. I get to pick a dragon name, and I get a sash. And I think that's pretty awesome. I want a sash. So Tuesday, I'm meeting with the Grand Meister Dragon to hand deliver my dragon application. So I'm super excited about that. Resilient Heart, I do not know how many women members there are, but not many. Not many. It's overwhelmingly men, but there is a handful of women in the organization. Sounds like they need more women in it. So there's probably like a token quality here, but it's a huge honor. I really am just so excited. Words cannot express how excited I am, but I won't cry again, I promise. Anyway, so as I get started with that process, I will let you know how it goes. I'll keep you abreast. But yeah, I'm filling out the application now. And yeah, it should be interesting. Aw, Kathy, that's so sweet. Thank you. I saw a comment from Jeff. Yes, what is the Yelp review on your Texas goodies? So I have eaten 1 box of macaroni and cheese, and I cracked something open. I will go grab it. This. I made burritos last weekend, and I opened this up. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, so I did a meetup in Dallas of some fans, and Jeff from Jeff's Travels was there, and he was so sweet. He was like, you know, I know you're here for tough reasons, and you probably haven't had time to pick up anything from Texas to take back to Croatia. And he was absolutely right. I did not. And he brought me this giant shopping bag of all this Texas stuff. Texas foodstuffs, I should say, and American foodstuffs like salsa and like enchilada sauce and hot sauce with Cholula is one of my faves, and Kraft mac and cheese, which I had, I think the first box of Kraft mac and cheese, like maybe my first or second night back in Croatia, because my kitchen was empty, fridge was empty, and I needed something to eat, and I was like, oh, so satisfying. So you prevented me from starving to death when I got back. So thank you so much. No, I have really loved having that stuff in the house. So I'm excited over the holidays to actually get a chance to use a little bit more of it. So yay. Oh, Michael Freer's in the house, and Yednam Lados. Awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, what else do I have to tell you? Oh yeah, so what am I doing over the holidays? So I'm going to Zagreb on Sunday, then Saturday, whatever the 21st is, I'm going to Vienna, and I can't wait for that. If you have not been to Vienna during the holidays, you should absolutely do that because they have wonderful Christmas markets. So I'm going to go there for a couple of days, and then I'm going to come back down to Split, and I'll be here for Christmas, and then I'm going to Sarajevo for a couple of days to see some friends, and then I'm going to come back to Split for New Year's, and one of my favorite Balkan bands is playing on Riva in Split for New Year's Eve, and I'm so excited about it because I have a Google alert on all my favorite bands, so I can know when they're coming anywhere remotely near Croatia. And this band, they're from Bosnia. They're called Dubioza Collective. They're a punk ska band that I really, really like. I don't know how I found out about them years and years and years ago, but they played in Split on Starry Plots, I think in like 2018, and they haven't been back since. And I got a Google alert recently that said they were going to be playing Advent on New Year's Eve, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. So I'm going to be on Riva here in Split, and if you see me, say hi. And then I will go up to Zadar for a night, and then I will go back up to Zagreb, and yeah, and then I'll be back in the office on the 7th. So, yee! I'm just so jazzed. I'm jazzed. I get to see a lot of friends during the holidays. I'm going to get to go a lot of places. I'm really going to make the most of this time. So if you see me anywhere, say hi. I would love to meet you. Okay. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. All right. So, shall we get started with the questions? What do you think? Thank you so much for joining us. If you're just getting here, I'm Sarah, and I'm going to answer 5 questions about Croatia. All right. So first, this is an anonymous question that came in on one of my consulting sessions this past week, actually. I hold 2 passports. After my 90 days as a tourist expires as on one, can I leave and re-enter on the other passport to get another 90 days in Croatia? No. No, you cannot. Your passport may be different, but you, the human, are exactly the same. So you can only be in Croatia for 90 days in a 180-day period. No exceptions. Okay? All right, so next this comes from Vesna, and I did not write down where she wrote this question, but I'm guessing it was the 5-question Friday forum. Christmas is coming. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. What is the best way to make gifts of money to my Croatian relatives? Is a Croatian citizen required to pay taxes on monetary gifts? If so, is there a threshold on how much money a person can receive before it becomes taxable? Oh, I saw Eve slipped in. Hey, girl. All right, so gifts are only taxable in Croatia if the value is more than 6,700 euros. If it exceeds this, the tax is 4%. If you do exceed 6,700 euros for Christmas gifts, can I be your relative? All right. So, however, there is an exemption on gift tax for gifts for spouses, descendants, and ascendants in a straight line, including adoptees and adopted parents. As far as how to send that money to your relatives in Croatia, there are several ways you can do it online, including Wise, Zoom, Revolut, Western Union, and MoneyGram. Personally, I use Wise to send money back and forth with the United States. I find it to be inexpensive and efficient, but they don't send anything on holidays or weekends. So that's just something to keep in mind. But that might be across the board for all of them. So I have 2 guides that we can provide related to this. One is all the different ways that you can transfer money to Croatia, but also the ways that you can pull out money and exchange money as well. So kind of all of those different things. And then we also have a guide on all the taxes that you might pay in Croatia. So this will cover the gift tax as well as all of the other taxes that exist here. Michael says Wise is the best. Yeah, it's a good one. All right, so this next question is also an anonymous question from one of our consulting sessions. Given the political situation in the U.S., gosh, I have no idea what you're talking about. Would it be something to add to the reason for applying for Croatian citizenship, or is it better not to mention? No, it is not relevant at all and may warrant an eye roll from the caseworker. So I would not mention the political situation of any country that you're in. I mean, unless you're in a fleeing for your life kind of situation, in which case, that's an asylum application. Okay. But for any kind of basic residence application, citizenship application, if you have the freedom to move here on your own and you are not fleeing for your life, they're not going to care much about the political situation in your own country, And, think about the fact that there was a war here for 30 years ago, on their own territory. So their perspective on what is considered a political situation or political crisis is a little bit different. Let's put it that way. Okay, so we have, as you know, for the longtime fans of 5-Question Friday, we have a big old fat guide about citizenship. All the different ways that you can apply, all the different bases, the requirements, procedure, all that kind of stuff. And of course, we can help you with that process if you'd like. So if you'd like that guide, DM us if you're on Instagram. If you're on YouTube, it's down in the description. And everybody else make a comment below and we will get it to you, all right? FDT, what does that mean? I don't know. All right, this brings us to the lawyer tip of the week. All right. There are many changes coming in January that may impact your obligations, including those to property taxes, VAT contribution threshold, military service, and regulation of foreign workers. It's important to inform yourself on these changes and understand how they might impact you. Ignorance is never a valid defense. Following the bureaucratic developments is our specialty. Oh, yeah, this is me talking, not the lawyer now, okay? Following bureaucratic developments is EIC's specialty. So follow us so you can find out everything that's going to be changing for 2025, because there is a heap of stuff. There's a heap of stuff. Lots of laws are being changed related to taxation and immigration and the military and, thousands of other things. So that's probably a slight exaggeration, probably not thousands, but a lot. And every year, this is around the time when they start announcing what all the changes are going to be. I mean, they have been announcing them all year because there is a process that they go through to pass legislation, okay? Which actually we have a guide about that on how something becomes a law in Croatia, if you're curious about what that process is. So we've had a heads up. We knew what was coming, okay? And then around this time of year is when they officially pass stuff, and it's like, okay, this stuff is going to be active for January 1st. Now, they've been dragging their feet on some stuff, but ultimately, this is like our time in December is when we start preparing for all of these law changes so that we can inform you on what is going to be changing and what your new obligations are starting January 1st, what you need to be aware of. So right now, everyone's distracted with the holidays. We are not. This is what we are working on. So in January, we're going to have a lot of new posts about like, okay, these are all the tax changes. These are all the property changes. These are all the immigration changes. So if you are new to Expat in Croatia, hi, welcome. We're so glad you're here. We hope you stick around for a while. You can follow us on social media. That's where we post changes. We also, the first people to know about the changes is always our newsletter subscribers. We have a newsletter we put out every Tuesday, and it has Croatian news and our latest posts and a bunch of other fun stuff. So you can also subscribe for that. That way you won't miss any of these law changes. And yeah, I think that's it. So, yeah. And you can also find the posts always on expatinCroatia.com. If for some reason you're like, I don't want to commit to anything, fine. Just go to our website and you will see all the latest stuff there. But it's important to know because like the lawyer said, ignorance is never a defense. Never. Okay. Our next question comes from Pavle from Australia. On the 5 Question Friday forum, I heard of a new law that allows returnees to be spared income tax for 5 years. Has it kicked in yet? I got a job in Zagreb starting in January, but I'm worried that if it did not kick in and I arrive too early, I won't be able to take advantage. Okay, so this law, this is one of the changes coming, is expected to start from January 1st. However, they have not officially passed the law yet. We should know more in the next few days, and we'll announce it once it's final. But if this applies to you, when we're talking about returnees, we're talking about Croatian citizens who left or were born abroad, got citizenship, and now are coming to Croatia, okay? So that's how we describe a returnee. It's Croatian diaspora. So they will not have to pay income tax for 5 years. The condition for this, as stated by Minister Primorac, who is the Minister of Finance, will be that they have spent at least 2 continuous years abroad. They will not be exempt from paying health and pension contributions. So I want to make sure I clarify this. In his case, in Pavle's case, he's going to be working for a Croatian company. When you work for a Croatian company, the Croatian company is obligated to pay your taxes and your health contributions and your pension contributions. Okay? So he wouldn't have to pay it anyways. But what could happen if he's able to take advantage of this new law, this new benefit, that means that his company will benefit in the fact that they won't have to pay his income tax for 5 years. So how can Pavle benefit from that? Well, what he can do is if he comes armed with that information, then he can ask to get a higher net salary to compensate for the taxes that the company saves for him. So in that sense, the company should not save anything, really. You should be able to get paid more. But you need to know that. Otherwise, I could see a situation where a Croatian company is like, ooh, there's this tax benefit. We don't have to pay taxes on that person, but they don't actually forward that savings onto the employee. So if you are a returning Croatian diaspora and you're going to get a job at a Croatian company, you need to know about this. This is important. So one way that I would arm yourself with that, aside from knowing about the law, is understanding what those taxes might look like. So we have a guide on minimum wages in Croatia, which will give you an idea of how wages work. And then also we have a link to do a calculation so that you can determine how much those taxes might be, so that way you can understand how much more your salary should be if you're able to take advantage of this benefit. Okay, so yeah, we have 3 guides here. So 1, minimum wage salaries. 2, how to calculate your income tax in Croatia. And 3 would be signing up for our newsletter where we're going to tell you about when this tax waiver goes into effect. So if you're on YouTube, all of those links are down below in the description. If you are on Instagram, send us a DM. Everybody else, comment, we will send it to you. All right, this is our last question. This comes from Grace and Matt from Canada. Hey, Grace and Matt. So I hold a Canadian and a German passport, and I'm wondering if you would know what percentage of a mortgage we would be required to pay as a down payment for a flat in Zagreb. Is it possible for us to put 10% down as an EU citizen, for example? If so, may we be able to move to Croatia sooner? I think I read that as a question. It was not a question. It was more like a statement. All right. So the amount of a deposit for a home loan can vary wildly from bank to bank. It's also heavily dependent on your citizenship or your residence status and whether or not you have Croatian income and the amount of that income. Okay. Now, ZABA has been known to fund 100% of the purchase. OTP and Raiffeisen can fund 80% of it. I used Erste and they only funded 60% of my purchase. Okay. Now, having a history of Croatian income is the biggest deciding factor in whether or not they're even going to consider you for a loan, because there are very few banks. And when I say few, I mean like that will consider foreign income exclusively. Usually there are few banks that will even consider foreign income, period, but that's in combination with a Croatian salary. So like I said, Erste will consider foreign income only sometimes. Vustenrot, which is actually like a sister bank of Erste, they have been known to sometimes consider just foreign income, but that's in the case of Croatian citizens only, and they've kind of like, I don't know, flip-flopped on that policy a little bit. So that's something important to understand. The next most important factor is citizenship. So EU citizens are supposed to be evaluated just as Croatian citizens. There's not supposed to be any difference there. However, you still need to have Croatian income to get the most favorable terms. I mean, you have to think about it like a bank, okay? You want money from me. You want me to loan you money, but you have no physical property that I can take if you don't pay, and you have no salary, no wages for me to garnish if you don't pay. So if you don't pay and you're a foreigner, you could just get up and leave and not come back. I mean, they can repossess the property for sure, but they want more leverage than that. You know? Okay, so we have a few different guides to provide you on this front. Croatia's biggest banks. So the 7 biggest banks, what their services are like, what their costs are like. We recommend Erste. I recommend Erste. We use Erste for the company and myself. I actually switched to Erste from PBZ when I got my home loan because PBZ was like, we're not going to consider foreign income and we're only going to give you enough money to buy a garage. So I went to Erste and I gotta say, I'm so happy with them. I love them. I love them a lot. They're great. But that being said, I wouldn't say Erste across the board, because I think one factor you should consider when you're choosing a bank in Croatia is how many branches they have, how many ATMs they have. Like Ersta's really super concentrated up in the Kvarner area, like Rijeka, Istria, They do have a bit of a presence down here in Split, so it works for me, but not everywhere. I find that they're not as concentrated like up in Zagreb, for example. So I think that's also something that should be taken in consideration, especially if you're going to be like on an island or something. You really want to go to a bank that is close to you in case you need to go in there and like do stuff. Hey, Daryl, what's up? All right, so next is how to get a home loan in Croatia, 10 things to know about getting a mortgage in Croatia, and which Croatian banks will consider you for a home loan. So we called, not me, but one of my colleagues called 15 different Croatian banks to find out what their rules were for a mortgage. So we have that post as well for you. So like I said, if you're on YouTube, all of the links are down below in the description. Instagram, send us a DM. Everybody else, make a comment. And we will get that stuff over to you guys. All right. Excuse me. Lunch is coming back up a bit, apparently. All right. So what's next? So reminder, I'm going to be bopping around Zagreb, Vienna, Zadar, Split, and Sarajevo. So if you see me, say hi. And also tonight is the Foreign Business Owners Association Christmas party at the Daltonist from 7 to 9. Yours truly will be there. All sparkly. The ACAP Christmas party is on the 19th, in Zagreb. We're meeting at the Fountain on Banja Lucic. And then I will be on Riva here in Split for New Year's Eve for the Dubiosa Collective concert. I will be in the crowd somewhere. So like I said, this is the last episode of the year. And I've really enjoyed this year with you guys. This is the 172nd episode of 5 Question Friday, which is really kind of crazy to believe, but it's true. It's true. So next year we'll hit the 200th episode, which is pretty exciting, big milestone. But yeah, so we've changed some things on 5 Question Friday this year. Got a proper mic. That was a really big struggle for a few years. Cam has done a few episodes, and now she's going to be doing the first episode of every month. We introduced the lawyer tip of the week, the diaspora tip of the week. So we've done some modifications to try and improve the show for you. And, we're always looking for ways to make it even better for you. So if you have any ideas, if you have any thoughts, any comments or feedback, or even stuff you don't like, please don't hesitate to drop a comment, send us a message, because we're here for you. And that's what we're doing here, is to serve. And if there's anything we can do to make things better, we of course want to do that. So if you're like, well, what am I supposed to do next Friday if you're not here? Well, I'll tell you. So we will be doing 2 best of compilations from 5 Question Friday. So one is going to be a video compilation next Friday, and then the following Friday is going to be like a carousel. So you're going to get some of the best questions. It was really hard to pick. It was really hard to pick. I was going through all of the episodes, all the questions this week, and gosh, I picked like 10. So actually, I don't even know which ones got picked in the end. But yeah, so you'll have something to watch over the holidays. And then I will be back on did I write it down? Yes, I did. So the next live episode is going to be January 3rd. I will be in Zagreb for that. And usually, like I said, Cam's going to start doing the first episode of the month, but the exception is going to be January 3rd because I wanted to be here with you for the start of 2025. So I will be here for you on January 3rd. And that's it. That's it. So thank you so much for being here for the last episode of 2024. It's been a wonderful year, and thank you again for all of your support of Expat in Croatia. We really couldn't do this amazing, cool, super awesome job without you guys out there supporting us and rooting for us every day and commenting and liking and DMing and talking to us and just saying hi and we're proud of you. And it really, really means the world. And I love getting to run into all of you out in the real world. That's a super cool thing for me. Cause like right now I'm sitting here in my living room, just looking at a little camera hole on my phone, but it's very, very different to actually see you in the real world. So I cherish those moments when I get to meet you. And yeah, Thank you. Just thank you for the bottom of our hearts. It's been 11 years at Expat in Croatia, which is really crazy. But yeah, we're going to keep doing this as long as we possibly can because we love Croatia and we love our jobs. And, you know, not everybody can say that. So we realize how privileged we are that we get to do this every day. So thank you for allowing us to do this and for supporting us. So that's it. I hope that you have wonderful holidays. Sretan Božić I Sretna Nova Godina. And we will see you in 2025. Ciao, vidimo se, bo!